right. All right. We have started the broadcast, so the place to start is you're going to make a copy of the spreadsheet, which is alicekeeler.com/GINT Google Intermediate. So let me, Annalisa, do you have it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Everybody good? Let me see what Ray's saying. Ray's going to participate by chatting. All right, someone else is being pinged, not me, which is fine. Okay, so I'm going to do some screen sharing here, and it's this one. All right, so the first one is that we can mark this off. Quest number 1 is to get your own list, which you did, so click X, and you should have a badge. Are you using Google Chrome? Mark that off, number 2. Okay, so I did this as a workshop in Kentucky, so I'm just using the same template. A couple of them are specific to the Kentucky, so we'll skip those. I didn't edit it. I feel like I get to be more relaxed with you guys. And so this one, are you Shift-T? So if you go into Google Drive, not that, if you go to Google Drive and you hold down Shift and you press T, it should, you have to be in My Drive, get to My Drive, Shift-T, it should just start a Google Doc. So you want to mark that off. Yep, did that. So what we're going to try and do is see if we can name it and share it for a temporary period of time. And so if you click on where it says Untitled Document, I'm going to name mine Delete. And then you click on the blue Share button. It allows you to share it with somebody. Share with my fake account. Okay. And what I should be able to do, when I go back and click on the blue Share button after I've shared it with them, if I click on Advanced down at the bottom, you can see in the bottom corner it says Advanced. If you hover, there you can see it. If you hover next to the collaborator, a little clock shows up or stopwatch timer and it says Set Expiration. So I'm going to say this person, they can either comment or view. You cannot, editors cannot be restricted. So you have to give them comment access or view access. So I'm going to let Fake Alice comment on my document for not 32 days, custom, for 5 days. I don't think I can set the time. I don't think I can set the time. So you can set it for days, and you can save. So now I've restricted it so that that person can only comment on the document for a limited period of time, which should be really handy if you want to have students go in and make comments on, say, your syllabus or something. But, you know, they got a couple of days to do it, and then we're done with that. Were you able to do that?
My poor bandwidth.
Your what?
My bandwidth.
Oh, yeah. Can't fix that. So what we do is we just put on good attitude face and we just do what we can do. It's especially hard when you're like running Google Hangout and then your computer, Google Hangout, like sucks RAM, like it sucks RAM and bandwidth. And so it makes my computer cry and choke. So one trick might be if you wanted to watch the, you know, do the Hangout on your phone and then use the computer separately. Do you want me to help you with that?
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the jump-in link and I'm going to put it into the chat, and this chat should have everybody. So did you get that chat on your phone?
I did.
Okay, so press it on your phone and see if you can join the video. Oh, yeah. Okay. So get out of it on the computer. There you go. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a challenge because when I screen share, it's going to be really tiny, right? So if it's too small, let me know so I can zoom in more.
Okay.
Okay. So hopefully that helps because Hangouts just, yeah, suck bandwidth. Totally right. Okay. All right, so we're back at our list. So I named it and I set it for a short expiration. And then what we're going to do is on there, we're going to create an invisible table on the Google Doc. So if you'll go back to that Google Doc that you just made, my first trick when I make a Google Doc is I push enter like a whole bunch of times, And do you see how that allows me to move my cursor up and down in there easily? But it's also really nice when you're collaborating with other people. It kind of gives every person a zone. Like you type here and I'll type down here. So whenever I start a Google Doc, I just push enter a whole bunch of times. So do that. And I'm going to put my cursor kind of several rows down. And I'm going to go table, insert table, and I'm going to do a 2x2 table. So why don't you go ahead and insert a 2x2 table. So it looks like that. Okay, everybody got the table? Kind of give me a thumbs up or head nodding. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is a couple of things. First, I want to highlight the table and I want to center it. So I'm going to go up to the toolbar and I'm going to go to center. So that's nice, that helps. And so what I want to do is go to the Tools menu and choose Research. Tools, Research, and it puts a search bar right on the right-hand side of your Google Doc. What? And I think that's really important because if we're talking about how do I shift my teaching? How is teaching in 2016 different than teaching in 1980? In 1980, I had to tell kids information. I had to because books are boring, textbooks are boring. It's like, say, read the textbook. That doesn't make you a good teacher, right? But the way I can shift this for 2016 is instead of telling kids the quadratic formula, I say, what is the quadratic formula? Instead of telling information, I ask questions. And so they have a Google Doc. They can look it up right in the Google Doc. Even in slides, they can do that too. So I'm going to type in quadratic formula. Oops, it would be helpful if I was screen sharing. Make sure you yell at me if I'm not. So I type in quadratic formula, and it should show me, like, here's pictures. I'm literally going to drag the picture into the table. And what if I wanted to know, like, what different kinds of volcanic rock? Now I was going to put rocks. So it shows me a picture of rocks, and I literally just drag it on there. So let me give you a shift in thinking. Not saying it's not important to like know stuff off the top of your head, but how much stuff did you learn in school that you've just forgotten? Let's be honest, right? A lot, right? And so the skill isn't whether or not you can memorize information. And again, you're just going to memorize what you're going to memorize, and the reason you're going to memorize it is because you use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So the skill is knowing how to find information and what to do with it. So, like, okay, well, I've used the quadratic a bunch of times, probably sang a song about it. I could probably write it from memory, but I could also just really super quick type quadratic formula and drag it over. So instead of spending a whole lot of time making kids memorize this, instead, you just have them search it, drag it, and now do something with it. I'm going to label it quadratic formula and label it rocks. So this looks okay, and I'm going to close out the research pane. This looks okay, but it could look better, right? If you're trying to design a document and you want it to look nice. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all the cells again. Oops, I don't want to drag that. I'm going to highlight all the cells. I'm going to right click. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose table properties. So table properties lets me mess with the table in fun ways. So I want my vertical alignment to be center so that you see that my picture is in the middle instead of up at the top. So now everything is centered and that looks a lot nicer. But then what I want to do, I'm going to right click and go to table properties. I want my table border to be a width of 0. So a table border width of 0 makes the table go away. So one really nice way to format your Google Docs is to make a table, right click, choose table properties, and make the table border 0 so that you don't see the table, but you have the where the table is like holding things in place so it looks really nice. See how the words are perfectly lined up? Yeah. If you're hitting the space bar to line stuff up, don't do that. Don't do that. So up at the top, if I wanted to put name and then you put a line for this, this is old school thinking. This is, I'm using a photocopy machine and the kids are going to fill out this worksheet on the photocopy, from the photocopy. Love the coffee mug, by the way. Because what happens when kids type on it? Like that, right? It's messed up. So what we do instead, here's what I do instead, is I go table, and I insert a 2 by 1 table, like this, and I write name. And if you get in between the cells, you can move and drag that over, right? Still looks junky though, right? You're like, yeah, that's great, Alice, and you got some boxes there, which sometimes I want. So if you actually, I'm going to hold down the shift key, and I'm going to click on all the edges except that edge, that bottom edge. And up in the toolbar, I held down shift and I clicked all the edges. I want a border width of 0. Now I've got a line that I can type on. So I want you to try that. So I went insert table, and I did a 2 by 1 table. And then you got to grab that line in the middle and you got to drag it over. If you want to screen share so I can see, well, wait, you guys are on your phone, so now you can't screen share. Yeah, that foiled my plans. I tried to be helpful. If you click the blue share button and type in my Fresno State account, because that's what I'm on right now, akeeler@mail.fresnostate.edu. You do the akeeler. If you share it with me, then I can open your doc. So I go into my drive and I click on shared with me. It's like a habit. So neither of you shared it with me, which is fine. Now, to get you click on all the border edges by holding down shift, so you can click on more than one border edge at a time. Do you want me to demo that again?
Alice, I'm sorry, what was the email again?
Oh, it's akeeler.
Akeeler.
Okay. At fresnostate.edu.
Okay.
Okay, so share with me. Oh, there we go. And I always have Ray. Okay. All right, so what you did on yours is you only clicked on the top border. You actually want to, there you go. But you're doing them one at a time. That's way too slow. Hold down the shift key, and you can select multiple ones at the same time. You try it. Yep, and then get the one underneath name. you want this one to be border 0, 2. I feel like you did a, look, I can kind of see it. You have border width 1. You want border width 0. Border width 0. All right, I'm going to make you try it again. Ray, you don't have a table. Oh, you only gave me view access, which is fine. You don't have to let me edit. So, Annalisa, I can see these lines right here because I think you were just making them light gray. Yeah, you made them light gray instead of making them a border width of 0. Now there you go. Perfect. Now make a new one. So go just down here, type, get a table border in there. My phone is dying. Okay, date's good. Okay, so far so good, Ray. Yep, I'm seeing it. So now you gotta, okay, good. Get that one there in the middle. Look at you, woo! All right, now, I'm gonna do that a second or a third time, not. So if I need any more of them, I highlight above and below it, so I capture the whole table, and I copy, and then I just like paste it anywhere I need it. And then I'm like, oh, date, period, assignment. You can always grab it and move that over a little bit if you need more room. But I do this table nonsense once, and then I just copy and paste. All right, good. Ray, you feel good? Ray, you lost the bottom line. Now, if you'll notice here, do you see this little tiny check down, drop down? That. So when you're in the cell, notice that a little triangle shows up when you're in the cell, and then you can select which portion of the cell you want, and then you can choose your border width if you wanted it to be big. Make another one, Ray. The old way I did it is I would go to table and I'd make 2 of them. I'd shrink that over. But then notice this little triangle-y thing, and I would select all the edges, and I would make them all 0, and then I would go back in, and I would just select the bottom border. So that little triangle-y thing, drop-down arrow in the cell, lets you select portions of the cell so that you can then apply the border width. But if you hold, but faster is if you just hold down, don't unclick that, Ray, unclick it. There you go. So you want to click on, yeah, right, and you hold down shift, and you're clicking around. Yep, get them all. One on the right. Hey guys, make sure you go to the tools and make sure your document outline is showing up. So something that's really important that you use when you're creating documents to make it accessible to students who have low vision is that you use headers. Like I'll type a question or like a main part of my document, and by default it is normal text. And you up at the top in the toolbar, you want to switch those to headings, and you'll notice that those headings populate on the side in the outline. But then underneath it, what I'll do is I'll put table, and I give the students a box to fill in the answer. So I just insert table, 1 by 1 table. So this is how I make, I hate to say worksheets because you don't want to be that guy. Like, which kid is running the class to fill out a worksheet? But if it's something inquiry-based, it can be collaborative, they get feedback, they're researching and finding some stuff, that's good. Just filling out worksheets, you've all had to fill out worksheets. Do you enjoy it? Right. My daughter this morning, she's 8. She's just demanding she's not going to go to school anymore because the teacher's having her fill out worksheets all day. I feel ya. I wouldn't want to sit in a chair and fill out worksheets all day either. Also there's living on planet reality. Can you make everything fun and exciting all the time? Let's say yes. Because if you say no, you give yourself an excuse to bore kids, which is not cool. Okay? But there's always a gap between what you want to do and what you can do. There's only so many hours in the day, and sometimes you're just like, we're just going to read from the book. I mean, no, that's not the best lesson plan ever. And I don't do it all the time, but sometimes that's the best I can do in that moment. And if you work really hard to build relationships with students, and for the most part you give them engaging, interesting things to do, and then once in a while you're like, we're filling out a worksheet. Not 30 pages of worksheets. Ditch the packets. But once in a while, like, fill out this worksheet or do this other thing, they'll do it. They'll do it. If you're a jerk, no one wants to work for you, period. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Yep, that's what I was showing you with that one. So we can close those. So just close out of them. I don't think I had anything else on those. So back to your spreadsheet. And so quest number 5, where did that go? I can mark that off. Woo! I'm level 5. All right, so now I have this whole list, and I did this as like a 3-hour workshop, and I still didn't get through all of them, and we're not doing 3 hours. So will you read through some of these and see if any of them in particular stick out at you that you want to do? So I just basically have a to-do list that we can do. Oh, this will be fun. Look at number 48. Number 48, you're going to Control-T new tab and just type in 7-minute timer. And it just starts a timer in Chrome. And this little square here in the corner makes it full screen. Okay, so number 48, I want you to try that. Control-T new tab, and you just type in whatever number you want, minute timer, 20-minute timer, 16-minute timer, 8-minute timer. You just type it into Chrome, and it's just going to do it. Now, you guys have done create pixel art and create a meme, so I think you should be able to mark off 46 and 47 because you've already done those. Now, Ray was in my session earlier, and he made badges and put pictures in spreadsheets, so he can mark off 49 and 50. What? I know, that's a totally unfair advantage, right? Okay. I've done a lot of these in workshops, so I want to avoid those. Okay, give me a request. Is there which one of these would you like to do?
I think number 34.
Number 34, okay.
Yeah.
All right, create a hyperdoc. Good. I'm not super awesome at this, but I'm glad that you mentioned it because it's a really popular thing, and I'd love for you to know them. So if you click here on J36, the second click here, it's got a template. So what a hyperdoc is not is where you put links in a Google Doc or a document. A hyperdoc is supposed to be an inquiry-based design. So you structure students through discovering information instead of just telling them information. So to use this hyperdoc template, make a copy and then follow the lesson notes to add content, links, and instructions. So the students are supposed to use this, so you'd push out copies to students. So I'm going to file, make a copy. I'm going to look at my other click here. Is this the Amazing Race one? No, it says, what is a hyperdoc? Okay, so this one gives us the directions for a hyperdoc. So instead of worksheets, you shift to have students engage, educate, and inspire learning. Okay, I'm just reading this. Right, we're always trying to focus away from teach-a-lecture to more inquiry-based, so that's the purpose. Okay, super. It should incorporate collaboration into the document. It should ask students to do critical thinking and problem solving. And students should be able to create things. So she's got a sample here. So you can see how she made the title. She made it look nice. And then, so our first part is to engage, get students to hook them into the lesson. Have them talk to again, it's supposed to be collaborative. So it instructs the students to turn to the person next to them and discuss. And they should be able to, it's a Google Doc, so they should be able to put some things in there as to what they did. And then Explore says go to storybird.com. And so that is like books where they would read. So Storybird's kind of cool. So it gives them some books that they can look at to read. So here she's got a group component of the class lesson. I would prefer to ask more guiding questions. This is not my favorite hyperdoc. She has this one, Amazing Race one, that I usually use. So, but do you notice here that she's got, okay, you're going to write a story, wants them to insert images and things into this document, and they write in it, and they're going to post reflection. And then here she's hyperlinked where she shares, she's like, put it on a Google form so other people can see what you've done. All right. And then extend. What does she have there for the directions on extend? Add more activities and resources to extend the learning. So if you're going to create a hyperdoc, you're supposed to go through these series of steps. It's structured. So I don't know if you still want to do this because it's not something I've done very much. The workshop that I was at, it was a lot of elementary teachers, and I hate to say this, but good teaching is good teaching, so it doesn't matter if you're elementary or higher ed. This is good for secondary level also. Math teachers should be able to do this no problem. I just haven't done it. It just started off as an elementary activity, so it's really popular amongst elementary teachers. It should be used by, yes. So let's just look at a couple of things. So I made on this. So if we do a lesson title, let's say I was going to do a lesson on, I don't know, I'm going to do something bad, using commas. Did you notice that Lisa's example had it looking really nice? So the way to do that is you go table, insert table. And so I just inserted a one-block table. And then you click on the little triangle-y thing, the drop-down arrow in the cell, and you select all the borders. Make the borders thicker. And then maybe I go to this pencil and I make it like a gray color. And then in the cell, if I right-click and I go to Table Properties, if I right-click and go to Table Properties, I can do a background color. And I can center it. And I center it here, and I make the font white, and I can change it to using commas so that it looks nice. Do you want me to, so why don't you try making a header on there that looks pretty? So what did I do is I inserted a one column, one row table. If you right-click and go to Table Properties, you can do almost all of it in Table Properties. Right-click, Table Properties, Table Border, what color do you want it? Table Border, what thickness do you want it? Background color, what do you want it? And that you want it centered. So right-click on your table, go to Table Properties. And then I just usually like my font to be centered in white, so I use the toolbar back in the regular document. And the reason I have so much space there is because I have, it's font size 30, so I can actually make it smaller if I want to have less space. Ray, that happens to me all the time. That's so funny. This is the video from earlier. Oh. Alright, that's working, so that's good. So this one has like a generic outline. If I go back and I look at Lisa's sample, you know, she made it look significantly different. She restructured the whole thing. All right, sample on the right. Here we go. She restructured it so that, I mean, she colored it. So how did she get the background to be gray like that? Doesn't it look a lot nicer? So if you go to File, go to Page Setup, File, Page Setup, you can do page color. Instead of the page color is white, you can make it a different color. Now she has her tables in there, so you can, like she has this clip arty picture of a flag. I'm just going to delete that and go Insert Image. And I like to click on Search. And I type in, I don't know, light bulb. I can put my own clip art picture in there so that I can customize it. You notice all she has here is a table. Let's just see how to make our own so we can make them from scratch. So if you do table, insert table, 2 by 2, you'll notice what she's got is the left two are merged. So if I highlight those left two, I can merge the cells. That's an option. So you turn the two cells into one cell. So I just merge them and drag the edge over. You see how it looks kind of like what she's got there? And this bottom, just pull the bottom down. Right click, table properties. Wait, I gotta highlight the whole thing. Right click, table properties. I can make the table border thicker. I think that's what she did, right? I got a thicker table border. Now if I just right click and choose table properties in one of the cells, then I can do the background color of just one cell. All right, how are you guys doing? So far, so good? This gives you at least some like techniques of how to make your Google Docs look nice, which I think is good. So let's, functionality-wise, click here. Why is that highlighted white? Highlight none. That's weird. So what happened was it was highlighted for some reason. So if you highlight it and you go up to the A in the toolbar, there's a little drop down arrow and you can switch between text color and highlighting it. And you want none. You want no highlight on that text if it was white. But the trick to making a hyperlink is you highlight the text and you Control K. Control K allows you to create a link like an http://alicekeeler.com. Okay. So you see how it makes hyperlinking in the cell or in the document? So make sure you can create a hyperlink. So click here somewhere. Although it's usually not a good idea to use the words click here, you should specify where they're going. You highlight it, Control K, and you type in a website, including the HTTP. If you can ever be somewhere where Lisa Heifel is and she can explain how to do this much better than I can, like I can do the mechanics, how to really design a good lesson that uses a HyperDoc. I don't have a lot of practice with that. I should. I need to because it's really popular. Let me see if I can get, hold on, Amazing Race. Great, Amazing Race, search it. Do it. Here we go. Can I bring that back over here? So this is Lisa's Amazing Race one. So, you know, she's got some sort of picture with the title, and then she has some information about the activity. Let me, well, whatever. Let me put this in the event. I'll put this here. There. So if you want to make your own copy. But you see how she has click here for a quick slideshow to get you thinking. It hyperlinks, it opens up a Google Slides presentation. So she created this slides presentation and then she used Control K to link to it. So what does place mean to you? It's place about where you live. So what does this do when I click here? Oh, she's got a Padlet embedded. So you're always thinking interactivity. When you have students doing stuff, they should not be passive consumers of information. What is the student doing? How are they contributing? So you'll notice that she's got this, and it's not just slides. Look at these slides. The slides ask them to do something. Take your idea and put it here. Collaborate with another student. Talk to your partner. Like, she's intentionally designing that in, and that is super important that you think about that in all your lessons. Is what are students doing, not what are they consuming. Note taking is not an active activity. The students are writing stuff down. That's not them doing something. How are they thinking? How are they contributing their own ideas? How are they working with others? Those are the questions that you want to ask. So then what she's got down here is team maps and digital journals. So she's actually hyperlinked. She makes a copy. So here's this journal. She makes a copy of it 10 times. Or how many teams does she have? She has 10 teams. So she makes a copy of this 10 times so that each group has their own to type on and interact with. Like, they're doing something. And then here's just some tutorials and different things. So she provides resources where she hyperlinks it in the document. So if you look, she's like, here's the challenge. Here's some information. Now you're going to do something with it. And here's how you're going to share it. So she can have them share it where they type directly into the Google Doc, or she has them share it on a Padlet or something. Okay, that's about as much as I can do with HyperDocs. I need to practice more with them. I'm glad that you asked. I should add it to the regular quest list is to make one. All right, let's mark it off. Or we looked at HyperDoc. I bet this one's The Amazing Race. Yes, I knew I had it in there. Okay. All right, now what do you want to do? You're muted.
Just.
Did that help? You can say no.
Well, there's some of these add-ons. I'm not familiar with the names, like JoeZoo and Autocrat.
Yeah, those are really cool. The only trick with those is you need some data. So what the JoeZoo add-on does, so if you go into, I think it's spreadsheet. So if I go into this spreadsheet and I go to add-ons, I can go get add-ons. And then it allows you to add in all these extra functionalities. So if I type in JoeZoo, I think it's in here. There might be one for Google Docs. Let me check that.
I think I added for Lucid
add-ons. Yeah, let's try that. Zoo. Okay, where is this add-on? I thought it was for, okay, add-ons, get add-ons, Zoo. Okay, how about JoeZoo app? Here it is, getjoezoo.com. And, okay, it's an add-on for, I guess you got to get it from their website. So it allows you to do some grading and rubrics right in the Google Doc. So you might want to play with that later. I like Autocrat, but it's kind of complicated. So what you got to do for Autocrat is, let's say you have students fill out a Google form. So you guys filled out for me how you did in the class, where you did a self-evaluation on the rubric, right? So then I have a row for each student. So what if I wanted to take every student's information and put it into a Google Doc? It's all formatted super nice. How do you share one response, each person's response where you don't see everybody else's? Autocrat's the right answer. What if I wanted to make a certificate? Do you want me to show you how to do this?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to I'm gonna start with forms.google.com,
Oh, okay.
and I'm gonna make a fake form. You're gonna do this with me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna make a really quick form. So we're gonna say like, we want kids to have a certificate. So, certificate. After you finish the Google Intermediate course, evaluate the workshop and get a certificate. Notice you have to like click on the little untitled document in the upper left-hand corner so that it matches the title down here. Is that Ray? Oh, thanks, Ray. I was not screen sharing. Let's try that again. I'm a doofus. Okay, so I went to forms.google.com, or you go to Google Drive and you make your form from there. I don't know why, but I've started just making them directly from like forms.google.com and slides.google.com, sheets.google.com, whatever. We make them from Drive. So we're making a Google form. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Want me to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to know like your name. I'm going to switch it to short answer. And then I hate this little floaty toolbar on the side. Like I have to bring my mouse all the way to the right-hand side to click this add a question. So I use Control-Shift-Enter to add questions. Control-Shift-Enter is my favorite. I've got that down solid.
Awesome.
And so then I need to know, like, rate the workshop. Okay, so then I'm going to choose linear scale. So on a scale of, I don't know, 1 to 10, yeah? I don't know that I need more information. I mean, if you're really trying to do an evaluation, you'd probably ask a bunch more questions, and you'd ask, oh no, I need email address. Control-Shift-Enter, email address. This is really important. I cannot email you your certificate if I do not ask for your email address.
Cool.
Make sure you have a question for email.
Okay.
And then if you want, you can grab it and pull it higher because I made it too low. Okay. I could put more questions in there, but I don't need them. It's really important. You see this little settings wheel? You need to click on that every single time. Now there's a keyboard shortcut of Control-E. I don't know why E is for settings, but we just don't use S. So Control-E, or you can click on the little settings wheel. But you'll notice it says it's defaulted that you have to be at Fresno State in order to answer the Google form. Turn that off. Also, don't let them in, you know, if you want to, normally, like, do you want to let them fill it out a second time? Uncheck that check. Anyway, I usually just turn, like, I don't want it to be anyone at Fresno State. I want it to be anyone. So I'm going to hit save. So then I need to click on responses. And I don't have any of those, but I'm going to go to create spreadsheet. Because you definitely want a spreadsheet. Create a spreadsheet. So I have no data, so we're going to make up some fake data, and I'm going to have you fill out mine. So I click on the little eyeball back on this Google form. I click on the eyeball. So that's the, like, Control-L, highlights URL, Control-C, copy. Mm-mm. So I'll submit it. So now let me put it into the chat, and you guys fill out my form. Okay, put your link in the chat, and I'll fill out your form. Or somewhere. Put it anywhere.
Let's see. I'll make sure I got name, email, address, the rating, and
Yeah, I just it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you have email address. So you're using a Google form and you want to send people a certificate, or you want to send people what they said back.
mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty useful, but it's quite a few steps. So the first step is you got to make the Google form and you got to collect some data. I'm going to fill this out a couple more times for myself. Submit another response. You don't eat. I don't want too many, just because. All right. And then did anyone paste theirs? Is that one yours, Ray? Nope, that's mine. Sure. That's fine. You need to fill it out a bunch of times because you need the data. So your spreadsheet should show a bunch of answers. Do you need help with how to do that?
For the answers.
Yeah, so in the Google form, in the edit screen, there's an eyeball up at the top to let you fill it out.
Okay. Oh, I have an extra.
Okay. That's okay. Can you fill out your own a bunch of times? Ray?
Okay.
All right, good?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what I have to do is I have to have something that I merge it with. So I'm going to Control T new tab, and I go to docs.google.com. And then I do a blank document. I want to make a certificate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Page Setup, and I want Landscape. And I'm probably just going to set all my margins to be like 0.3 because it's a certificate. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to design the certificate. So I'm going to think about how this might look. If I go to table and I insert a 1 by table like that, then I can drag it down to the bottom, and I can right click and do table properties, right? And so I can make the background color, you know, like a light yellow, and I can make the border like a 3, and maybe, or 3 point, and I can make the border blue. Maybe I'll make it 6. Oh, look at that. It's looking more certificate-y already, isn't it? So I just inserted a table. It's 1 by 1. And then I went to table properties.
Oh, yeah.
You getting it?
Yeah.
Right, you know, so I push enter here a few times. Like, I'll center it. I'll write certificate really big. Certificate. I want it like size 90. I'm going to insert a table into my table. Watch this. Table, insert table. So do you see how I just inserted a table in my table?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to grab the edges and pull it so it's kind of sitting in the middle. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to, actually, I'm going to click on the edges, the 3 edges. I'm going to choose a table border of 0. And at the bottom, I'm going to choose a table border of 4.5 so it makes a line. I'm going to center this and make the font bigger. That's too big. I wanted to say, like, you know, it puts their name there, right? Do you want me to do that slower? I'll do it again.
Okay.
So what I did is I inserted the 1 by 1 table, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I just pushed enter a whole bunch of times. So I'm like, okay, I'm here like in the middle. And then I push center, so I'm actually in the center. And I go table, insert table, and I inserted a 1 by 1 table in the middle of my table.
Okay.
You could put tables in tables. And then I just dragged the edge of the table. I dragged the edge of the table, so because it's gonna be a bottom line, right?
Right.
So I need to get rid of the side, the top, and the right, and I make it table border 0. But that skinny line on a certificate looks stupid. So I'll make that table border maybe 2.5 or whatever. I'll make it thicker. And I can fill in names into the box. And it's on the line, but I want it to be centered and like size 60 or something.
Cool.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
So, but what I want to do is instead of writing Alice Keeler, I need to write less than, name, greater than, greater than. So this is called a merge tag. So what do you want to be generic and what do you want to be specific? So I like design the whole thing the way that I want it to look. Maybe I'll get I'm going to insert an image. Insert, image, search. I'm going to type in ribbon. Yep. What I want to like, oh, there we go. More like a badgy one. That's way too big. Whoop, resize it. Resize it a lot more. Break the text. Whoops. Come here. Wrap the text. Nope, need to break the text. Come on. Come on, baby. You're up here. All right. Look at that.
That's legit.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just make this generic looking certificate, and anywhere I want to merge anything specific. So just, I wouldn't normally put this on here, but I'm going to put less than, rating, greater than, just so you can see I can merge two things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you got your certificate? Ray, you got your certificate? I need to blog. This is actually kind of cool.
Print screen. Cool.
Okay, so then back in the spreadsheet. So now you got to go to the spreadsheet. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, you shared it? Okay. Certificate. Let's see Ray's certificate. Oh, look at that. Looking good. Ray, just for fun, I'm going to add less than rating, which normally you wouldn't do that. But I'm putting it in there just so that we have a second merge, okay? You know, you don't have to have it, but whatever. Okay, so then you got to be back in your spreadsheet. And you got to go to add-ons, and you're going to do get add-ons. I already have it. It's Autocrat. You're going to get add-ons. Autocrat. You're looking for the AUTOCRAT.
Oops.
I got to check something. Oh, that's not going to be in that calendar. You guys got Autocrat installed?
Not yet.
Okay. I'll real quick check my regular calendar. There it is. Today. Okay.
You said it was an add-on?
Yeah, it's an add-on to the spreadsheet.
Or it's a spreadsheet? Oh, man.
Yeah, to the spreadsheet. So you have to make a Google form. You have to make a Google Doc. And then you have to open the spreadsheet from the Google form. And you put the Autocrat in the spreadsheet from the Google form.
Okay.
So we're going to do add-ons, Autocrat. All right, you're still installing it. You're going to make it from Drive, Ray. Okay, so when I'm in the spreadsheet, I go to add-ons, I go to Autocrat, and I launch it.
Oh yeah, I had it. Here, I found it. Okay. Launch. Oops, my phone's dying.
Oh no. We can't win. All right, I'm going to do my best because it is. It's a few steps. Okay, why isn't this showing up? Hello? Fresh. I think my phone or my computer's crying because I have too many windows open. Add-ons, Autocrat, launch. Okay. Hello? Oh, man. Is yours working? It should be showing me stuff in that sidebar.
Yeah, new merge job.
Okay. Yeah, choose new merge job. I'll talk you through it.
Okay.
I'm hoping this shows up soon. Yeah, new merge job. And then what?
Drive or create?
Drive.
Drive.
Just made a certificate in Google Drive.
Okay.
You want to go browse and find that certificate.
Got it. Okay. Looks like your template document has no merge tags. Template must include merge tags.
Didn't you put the less than, greater than in there?
Oh God, I have too many tabs.
Yeah, I hear that. In fact, I'm going to get rid of a few of them because they really suck bandwidth.
Oh. Where did I put the merge tabs?
So do you see I have the less than, and the greater than around where I said name?
Oh yeah, okay.
And then you notice I just stuck in the bottom rating less than, rating greater than, so that I have two merge tags.
Okay.
So the merge tags is where it's going to take something from the spreadsheet and it's going to stick it in there.
Then put less than. And then what was it? Less than.
Name, greater than.
Okay.
And then just somewhere else put less than, rating greater than. And why isn't my Autocrat showing the settings? I don't even know what these mean.
Booyah! Name the merge job.
There we
Certificate.
go.
Certificate.
Okay, I don't understand why my AutoCAD's not working. It always works. It works great. I love AutoCAD. I use it all the time.
Uh-oh.
So, then what do you, so then you have to match them up. Like it says the column header, and you're going to match the column header with your merge tag. So like name, I would match it with name, and rating, I'd match with rate the workshop. So you got to match your merge tag with the column. And so it's super important that none of your column headers are identical, because otherwise it gets confused. So you just follow the directions, and then there's a spot in there that says advanced settings that allows you to set what kind of email. You're going to send an email that's going to send this merge, and you're going to send it as, because I think by default it just puts them in your Google Drive. So you have to go to the advanced settings so that you can email the certificates. You can say you want it to be a PDF, or if you want it to be a Google Doc. It's so cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to work for me right now. What the heck? Okay, what if I share this with myself and I open in my other account? What if I close it and I open it again? I think my computer's just mad at me. You have too many tabs. Angry. Okay, add-ons. All right, come on. Add-ons, Autocrat, launch. Nope.
Every time launch makes me hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Were you able to get it to work? You gotta like look at all. I mean, this is the thing. It's always like it's complicated because there's like a ton of settings in there. So I think it's worth the time to just kind of like go through and read all the settings carefully. I'd really like to show you how to do this because it is a little bit complicated.
It's very interesting though. I always wondered how this stuff works.
It works so good. Like anytime you have, I used to years ago before Google Classroom, because I don't have to do that now with Google Classroom. What I would do is I'd have students like say that I wanted you to answer 5 free response questions. Well, if I just told you to type 5 free response questions onto a Google Doc, you would make a mess of it. It would just, everyone's stuff would be formatted wonky and it wouldn't have their name on it. So what I do is I'm like, okay, put all your answers into this Google form. So you put your name and your period and the date and everything that goes in the header into the form. And then it'd have 5 spots for you to answer your questions. Then I would use Autocrat, that it would just take their answers and put it into a Google Doc. And because I made a template, right? I'm like, the name goes in the upper right-hand corner and the date goes in the upper right-hand corner. And then I have the title that I typed. And then I'm like, I write out what question 1 is. And then I put a merge tag for the student's answer to question 1. Then I write out question 2 and I put a merge tag for the student's answer to question 2. So I have all my merge tags into the nicely formatted Google Doc. And then I just run Autocrat and it sends every student where their work looks really nice. And everybody's exactly the same.
Huh.
It's pretty cool.
That's cool. I'm having the same problem that Ray is, trying to put some of the information in, because it got me. It pulled up.
Do you want to turn the camera away from yourself into the screen, see if I can like see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is what I get.
Okay, so it has no headers. But sheet 1 does have headers, doesn't your? It should say form responses. You're not on sheet 1. Why do you have a sheet 1?
No, I added in the certificate, and then this is this
Okay,
spot that took
tell me
me
to the left of the screen.
Okay, over here.
Okay, this is not right. You made a brand new spreadsheet. What happened to the spreadsheet from the Google form? Or yeah.
Okay.
So go back to the form.
Okay. Spreadsheet from the Google form.
So go to the form.
Uh-huh.
Click on responses.
Responses. Responses. Not here. Form. Oh. With timestamp and untitled question. Bah.
But you don't.
It's that aha moment.
Okay.
Uh,
So you have to use the autocrat on the spreadsheet from the Google form.
okay.
Because you want to take that spreadsheet's information and merge it into your certificate. So now start over. I'm still mad. Like, why the heck will it not load? This is bogus.
Drive. Certificate.
What happens if I turn on my camera? Maybe that'll help. Camera. See if I just have just a little less bandwidth, if that'll do it. Come on. No, it's still blank. Like, why would it be blank?
Oh yeah, now this looks better.
There we go.
Okay, here's where I'm at now. And now it shows me it's got name and rating and then
Yeah. So you want name to match up with name. So you got to do from the little drop-downy list there. Uh-huh.
here. Is
Yeah.
a question. And
You're
then
supposed to
rating.
have a name, and then, yeah, you don't have a rating.
Okay.
So you didn't ask the same questions I asked, or any. So when you make your Google form, you need to make questions.
More questions. Okay, so then the more questions I add, they'll automatically be entered into
Yeah, well, so when you have all the questions, they come across the top of your spreadsheet.
Okay.
And then you're saying, okay, look, I made a merge tag in the Google Doc, and I want this column to go to that merge tag. So you can call the merge tag whatever you want. Like I called it rating, even though, let me show you the screen share. I'm so frustrated that this won't work. You see I called mine rate the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would see over here in the side panel of AutoCRAD, if it was working, is it would say, it would find the merge tag of rating. It's like, which column do you want this to go with? And you're like, I want it to go with rate the workshop, and I would match them.
Okay.
And so you get, if your Google form has 12 questions, you might have 12 merge tags in your Google Doc. And you can actually use the same merge tag over and over again. So you might go like merge tag name here, merge tag name up at the top, and then somewhere else you like personalize it. So you're like merge tag name, comma here, and then like thanks merge tag at the bottom. Like you can put name it all over the place, where you just use the same merge tag over and over again. But you want a different merge tag for each different question.
Okay.
And you probably won't include all, like there might be some questions you do not merge, like I asked email address, but I didn't merge the email address onto the certificate. So you just choose which pieces you want to merge. So anyway, if you follow the directions on the AutoCRAD side panel, you should email everybody a personalized certificate. So if you go to YouTube and you type in AutoCRAD, you're going to find tons of videos with directions.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this helpful?
Yeah, super.
It's definitely worth playing with. Like, figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what Ray says. Well, Ray, did you put the same email for all four?
gotta get going now.
Yeah, we're good. We're done. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thanks. That was really good.
Okay, good.
All right.
See ya.